In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a look at your Google Webmaster Tools account so you can understand what's inside the account. So at first, you should set up and add your website. If you have not done that already, you'll go to google.com/webmasters/tools and make sure you've set up an account. To do that, you can just also click on add a site and you just put in your website, and you can follow the previous video where we went over Google Webmaster Tools Setup to understand how to do that. In this one, once you have an account set up with a website, you're just going to click on the website name right here and it'll take you into all the different information. So there's a few things you're going to find here. You'll see it'll tell you different site errors. The DNS, as long as these are green, this tells you that everything is looking good so far. There were 6 URL errors. That means that 6 links went somewhere that said, not found. So that means you might want to check those out for you. So if I were to click on this, that would tell me that this link here, does not go anywhere. So it couldn't crawl this page and it used to be a page that was available. So if I click on this little double arrow here, that would tell me what pages might be coming up as a problem. So maybe I need to go in and make sure that file gets uploaded. That would be something to take a look at. The next thing here, you've got search queries, which is really important. This tells you all the different op times. Like for example, this site over a 30-day period had 2,000 clicks in Google, the organic listing in Google, and 18,000 impressions. So if I were to click that double arrow, which provides me with a little more information, I can actually see that there's 18,000 impressions for this period, and you can actually set the period of time within here. So for the last 30 days, we have actually seen there's 18,000 times the website has actually been displayed in a Google search result, and of those times, about 2,000 of those resulted in clicks. So that tells you, pretty good, decent volume actually, that your site looks relevant in the search engines. It's also beneficial for you to know what phrases your website is showing up for, because if you find, for example, certain keywords like, hey, my site is showing up a lot for this phrase, PSD to HTML, it's showing up 110 times a month, but I'm on page 16. Well, what would happen if I got on page 1? I might see that number go up to 500 impressions for my site. So that would tell me, okay, I need to do better SEO on this particular keyword. You can also see average position here. So like the average position of this phrase PSD to CSS is 4.5. CSS calendar 6.5. And if I click on average position here, it will tell me where I rank for all these different keywords, and there's 247 different keywords. So I know that I'm number 1 for Seneca photography, which was the old business name, and so that would tell you maybe that's not as important to me. But right here, typography CSS, well, I rank number 1 in Google for that, but I have less than 10 impressions. So that tells me that's a keyword I don't want to spend much more time on. Photoshop to CSS tutorial, you would think would have more impressions, but sitting at 2.5. So then you know which keywords you don't necessarily want to work on. You can also see based on sorting this down, which keywords you might want to take a look at as well. So if I clicked on average position, I could see here PSD to HTML conversion got some impressions, but I'm in position 640, so maybe I should work on improving that. PSD to HTML, position 520. That means people were willing to go back up to 5 pages and actually find what they're looking for. So PSD to HTML might be a phrase I would want to get in the top 10 for, because you could see traffic really jump up there. If you click on the clicks icon here, you can actually see which keyword produced the most clicks for you, and you can see all these others all produce clicks in the search engines. So that's what you find under traffic and search queries. The other thing you find is links to your website. This is good for knowing where you're getting backlinks from, like SitePoint.com, which is an authority website. It actually has links right here to this page here. 7keep, Digo, which is like a social bookmarking site, Blogspot, Z Templates. you can click on more here to see all these different pages that link into your website. So you can find that there's a lot of different websites that come up here and that actually help drive traffic to this site. So how your data is linked, this tells you what keyword phrases they are actually using to link into your website. 100, you can see the number one anchor text is from PSD to CSS HTML and easy steps, CSShowto.com, CSS tutorial guides. You can kind of see what your anchor text is. For SEO reasons, you kind of want to see this varied, especially nowadays with the latest Google SEO changes. Another thing, you can look at what content is linked to the most. So this tells me, okay, this article here gets a lot of backlinks, and so search engines love backlinks, especially when they're shared content. So I know which article I need to put a little more effort into to help see some results from it. So that should give you an idea there. Internal links will actually tell you, internally how you're linking internally on your site. Optimization will tell you different things like your sitemap. Do you have an actual sitemap that's showing up? There's 16 pages, and that tells me, okay, 16 are actually indexed. Content keywords. This tells you when when Google looks at your page, they view CSS as probably a dominant keyword phrase that's of significance on that. And so when you're actually on here, what this will tell you is your main keyword, is that not considered a dominant phrase? If it's not, then you need to add more content that would maybe let Google know what your content's about. Structured data. This gives you, a little more info, as to how your information is actually being structured, and most of the time you don't need to necessarily worry about that so much. HTML improvements, you can actually tell you right now they didn't detect any issues with your site, so that's a good thing for you. Remove URLs. So if you have any links that you do not want the search engines to find, you could actually put that in here. It could be like your download pages and stuff like that. You could actually insert that here if you really didn't wanted to really try to make sure they don't index it. Data highlighter, this you would want to review that. It's a new thing from Google. And then Google Labs is another thing that you can actually see inside Webmaster Tools. And this tells you different things like author statistics and where you show up if you're a verified author. And that's one of the new things Google's really putting a lot of play on with the search engine rankings as well. So go on in here, and then I always like to check the health too. I think the web health is important. You can click on Fetch as Google here, and it will actually let you know, kind of how Google views your actual website. So it'll tell you like pending status here, and you can kind of take a look at what Google looks at your site. Indexing stats, you can see how your site shows up. In Google, there's 36 URLs being indexed. Crawl statistics, this tells you how often they're finding it and when they're finding it. So there's lots of different choices here as well. So that's how you use Google Webmaster Tools. Very powerful resource for you to check out.